goodness gracious.
PTR Radio.
You ready to kick ass?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Sorry we had to delay an extra week, but we had things to do.
Yes, we did.
So I had to go out of town. Colin had people to pick up from the airport, I believe. And Mike had, Mike had nothing but time on his hands, I think. But, I guess Mike could have done a solo show, but
You wouldn't want me to be on the air. Here, I'll give you a little hint.
Yeah, Mike had before the show we were talking about invasive procedures, and Mike, we talked about mine a couple months ago, and Mike just had his little camera tour, we'll call it
Camera tour of the Hershey Highway.
Yeah, so
Such a photo opportunity. Let me explain something to you, folks. All right, so there's a little bit more of a story to this. The Saturday before the procedure, which is a colonoscopy for those who haven't caught on yet, Kim yells up from the basement, "We got a problem." That's never good. I come downstairs, my bathroom is flooded.
Uh-oh.
Our sewer line is clogged.
And this is before the prep.
Well, this was the week before. Thank God. Long story short, with that one, after 5 hours, the plumber was able to clear essentially what was a giant root ball from my sewer main.
Mm-hmm.
So now I had to dump the root stuff the root killer he recommended every 6 months. Essentially looks like the meth from Breaking Bad. It's like blue crystals. I said, okay, that's fine. I don't care if my pipes, my sewer main hallucinates as long as it works.
Yeah. If you have to get your treatments from Jesse Pinkman, that's okay.
And I was very grateful that it did not happen after I started the prep.
Yeah.
Because now, for those who are not aware, there are two forms of prep. There are liquid and there are pills.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend the pills because the liquid is the consistency of motor oil.
Well, see, now, all I had to do was essentially have an entire bottle of Miralax, which meant drinking like 2 gallons of water. So,
With the pills, it was 12 pills. So at 6 o'clock, we're going to get graphic here for a second, folks. Semi-graphic. 6 o'clock, I have to take 12 pills that are about the size of a multivitamin with 16 ounces of water. And then 30 minutes later, I must drink another 16 ounces of water and then continue to drink water until 9 o'clock, where I have to take another 12 pills and, repeat the procedure.
Yeah.
Now, when Kim did her prep, which was during my hockey season, and thankfully she did it on a Friday night, so I was out of the house. She told me she started taking her second dose around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and at that point, she still hadn't had to go.
Yeah.
I took my first dose at 6 o'clock. 6:30, I said, I got to go.
Gotta go right now.
And I literally sat there thinking to myself, I don't need a second dose. There ain't no friggin' way I need a second dose. I'm seeing the quarters that I swallowed as a kid coming out. Like, This is ridiculous. My sinuses are clearing up. That's how much I'm getting cleared out. They don't joke. This is not a joke. This is when they say you go They are not kidding.
You go now. You go.
And the whole time I'm on my toilet, I'm just thinking to myself, God damn, I am so glad that the plumbing issue didn't happen last week.
Mm-hmm.
Or this week, rather. Because, man, listen. And I will say, thankfully, they did remove at least one polyp that was precancerous. So I'm glad that I went.
Mm-hmm.
The question becomes, once we get the doctor gets the pathology back, it's a question of whether I have to go for another one in 5 years or 10 years.
Yep.
Depending on the results of the pathology. But that's fine. The procedure itself,
yeah,
best nap I ever had.
The prep is worse than the procedure. That's
yes.
That's
absolutely.
That's the overwhelming
Absolutely.
response. Is the prep is worse than the procedure, and
absolutely
that was the same case for me. Is that the prep was worse, and my prep actually wasn't terribly bad. I mean, it was like eating Taco Bell, 2 days in a row. But
I love Taco Bell though.
But it wasn't that bad. So it was, but overall, yeah, it was not terrible. So it was, but yeah, I mean, not bad. So, but anyway, yeah, I got 10 years till my next one. And, am I looking forward to it? No. Will I do it? Yes. Because you need to. You got to do those things. You don't have much of a choice. So you do those things and you move on.
Yes. Yeah.
So you just say, okay, great. I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to, say, cool, glad that's over, and continue to move forward.
Yes. Agree.
And Colin gets to be up next.
Yeah, I'm the youngest one, so I'm up next.
Yep. So.
And from, I had said this in the pre-show. Apparently, at some point, and I didn't know this, I was still under the belief that when you turn 50, that's when you're supposed to go. Unless you were showing some kind of signs of, a reason to go earlier. Well, apparently they lowered that to 45. And I either chose to ignore it, selectively heard different, but I actually asked my doctor, well, aren't I grandfathered in? And it doesn't work that way, as Shaggy and Colin were quick to point out. This isn't like the drinking age, if they change that or when they change that. You're not grandfathered.
It's not a set of stairs on an old building.
Yes.
No.
It's a recent change, but it is not the recommendation by the doctors changed. It was they finally got the insurance companies to agree to it, is what I was told.
Okay. And I have issues with the insurance company. Now I'm starting to get the whole conspiracy theory thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm starting to join them or if I'm just starting to understand them a little better, because apparently around the same time they made that change, they also decided that high blood pressure or normal blood pressure is 120/80, not 90. 90 apparently used to be the limit for normal blood pressure, and they changed that. And I have yet to see a study showing me numbers why, other than to sell more blood pressure medication and drive up doctor bills. Because my blood pressure at home reads like 70, averages around, my diastolic is around 78. When I go to the doctor, it's around 90. And the doctor and I are probably going to fight when I go back. After she gives me the shingles vaccine. I don't want to fight with her before she sticks me with a needle.
No, always
with the needle first. And then we can talk about this, because I'm not going on additional meds. Take that white coat off and let's see if my blood pressure is any better, because I don't like this office. That's why it's high. I'm stressed right now.
Well, how do they take your blood pressure? Because I guarantee they're doing it wrong.
The technician uses the cuff with the machine thing,
Right.
And then the doctor rechecks it with the actual stethoscope and the cuff, and she tries both arms, and she still tells me it's too high.
Yeah. But what were you doing just before that? Do you walk in and sit down and they take your blood pressure? See,
Pretty much.
the point is, the rules of how to take blood pressure are that you're supposed to be put in a chair where your feet are on the ground and it's calm, and you sit there for at least like 5 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes. And then they take your blood pressure. If they don't do that, it's not valid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting like that in the waiting room, and this waiting room is not normally calm.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody on speakerphone or watching a YouTube video way too loud or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
The technician, yes, I'm in a chair, my feet are on the ground, and I'm kind of relaxed and joking around, and blah, blah, blah. Not 5 minutes, I know that. But then I'm up on that table, and my feet are dangling.
Mm-hmm.
And so you bring up a very good point. So I'm going to have to bring this up. Next time, I'm going to sit in the chair.
Yeah, because when I get by, see, the nurse will come and then just kind of do there, and my arms just kind of hanging there because I'm sitting up on the table. And they get it, and it's wrong. So my actual doctor comes in later. He looks at it and goes, yeah. So he comes over. He puts the cuff on. He grabs my arm and is like holding it, he's holding it to his side. So I'm not holding the arm up anymore. It's now supported by him. He takes the blood pressure. He looks at it and goes, that looks fine to me. And I'm like, see? It's because you don't, you're taking it correctly.
What usually happens to me is, they sit me in the chair. They ask me a bunch of other questions because it's always the nurse that takes it. And then they take it on the left arm, which usually I'm sitting in the chair, the little counters to my left. So they set my arm on it. They put and then she leans forward. And so my hand is, unfortunately, against her breast the whole time she's trying to take my blood pressure, which does not help my blood pressure at all because I'm wondering, I'm thinking, okay, Nancy Reagan, Babe Ruth, all these other things. And then I'm thinking, I don't know that this is appropriate, but I didn't put my hand there. She put her boob on my hand. So if anything, she's the aggressor in this situation. I'm just trying to think of whatever just so that I don't have, high blood pressure when they take it, which is never, it's always high. So it doesn't matter. All I do is go, oh, it's been higher whenever they read out the numbers.
I mean, look,
every once in a while I go, ooh, new high score. But
yeah, it's like, okay, this is like when the hygienist at the dentist asks, have you been flossing? Oh yeah. Not as much as you'd like me to though. Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Yeah, I did right before I came here.
Like, let's just
head it off. Okay? No, but right before I came here,
often do you floss? Not as much as you tell me I should. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I floss? Yes, but not. I'm not neurotic about that, and there are studies against that one too.
Yeah, how many times do I eat ribs? In between trips to the dentist. That's how often I floss or eat popcorn. Yeah,
you want me to stay on this water pill? Okay, fine, whatever. It's cheap enough. It costs me like $2 every 3 months, whatever. You want me to go on all of these other drugs, and then this is where, then she says, well, white coat syndrome. So, okay, you're acknowledging I have it. Okay,
white coat syndrome's a thing. Yeah.
She says, but white coat syndrome, there's varying degrees, and we need, we may need to have you go to a cardiologist for an echocardiogram. I'm like, the hell? This is all because Kim said, well, you're going to have to start going to the doctor now because you're going to be 50. See what happens?
When you turn 50, you start to get new friends. They're called specialist doctors. Suddenly you have an endocrinologist, you have a heart, you have a cardiologist, you have a dermatologist, you have a cardiovascular surgeon. You have all these new friends at the hospitals and the doctor's offices.
Doesn't help. Now, see, and it just so happens that this visit where she decided that I may need to go on a different medication doesn't help that it was right after I watched the episode of Roseanne, or The Connors, where they brought back who was their one friend from the original show that married Dan's dad. And her storyline was that
Natalie West, who played Crystal on Roseanne.
Crystal, yes. So Crystal came back, and Dan apparently was like hiding that he was paying for Crystal's heart medication because her dad made her think that her high blood pressure, and he stayed on the diuretic for too long, which is what I'm on, and it winds up that it was masking the symptoms and she actually had congestive heart failure. So now I walk out of that office sitting in my truck thinking, God damn, I'm going to die. What if I'm Crystal? What if the diuretic ain't working and I just stay on it? And now what if I don't listen to her? But
my dad had to wear a heart monitor for the last 2 weeks. And we ended up having to go, we got my daughter a couch the other day, and we're driving with him. And all the time I hear his phone dinging because it's connected to the phone. And I'm just going, hey, how's the heart monitor going? He goes, thing just it just makes noises all the time. It just doesn't sit right, or whatever, or it doesn't get good contact. I'm like, sounds like something that shouldn't happen every day. Maybe you should talk to them about it, or maybe you have problems, that need addressed, like the constant AFib you've had for 20 years, that maybe it's saying that there's a problem with, or the fact that the last time you went to the cardiologist, they said that you should really have an internal pacemaker put in, and you're arguing with them about that. So maybe it's not so much that the pad doesn't stick to your chest very well. Maybe it's because your heart's going wonky, But nope, according to him, it's all because the adhesive doesn't work very well.
And then the guys at work think I'm crazy when I say, no, we need to find the office that's near the AED device, the automatic electronic defibrillator. Because listen, I need to know where it is.
We had somebody at work who on the first floor, he was walking from his office down to a break room, collapsed on the floor, and they had to pull it out. They had to pull that out, and they followed the instructions, and then they were giving him mouth-to-mouth, and it still didn't work, and he died. We actually had to have a memo go out where the subject was about the man who passed away on first floor.
Great. Now I'm on a fucking cardiologist. All right.
And
let's move on.
This follows my previous job where somebody died in their car after work before they could leave to go home. So...
But it's funny though, because not because of the guy who died, but for say you're the cardiologist. So
no, people dying at work. That's not funny at all.
A couple of years ago, my doctor decided, just for the heck of us, go ahead and do an EKG. But they don't send me to the cardiologist. They just send me to the lab. The same lab. There I pee in a cup, and it's like, oh yeah, come over here. He wanted an EKG too, so I just laid on a table. They stuck the things on me and said, okay, there you go.
I've had that done too. Yeah.
No. Okay, maybe my mistake. She's telling me to send. So they did the EKG, and that was normal, like at the office as part of my physical.
Yeah.
They did. ECG is what they want to send me, the sonogram type thing of my heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm like, that sounds serious.
So, yeah. But let's move on to something a little bit more positive, because like Mike said, we don't want to talk about his impending death the whole time.
Let's move on.
But so the reason why we had to delay a little bit from last week is because I was out of town. I ended up having to go to D.C. for work, which it's been forever since I've been to D.C. The last time I was there, I was actually with Colin up there. And so I got to speak at a national convention. It was a lot of fun, but the layout was weird. It was like somebody says, okay, you're going to be on a panel and you're going to speak at this convention. What's your vision of what that room is going to look like?
Like auditorium.
Well, and like the seating arrangement. You're up front in front of the rest of the audience, right? That's what I thought it was going to look like. But that is actually not what the layout of the room looked like. In fact, let me pull it up here real quick.
Were you in the round?
So real quick. So this was just a brief shot of the conference itself. We were in the Kennedy Center, which is very nice. But yes, so this was the layout for this. 5 of us sitting around a table in the center of the room, and everyone else around us with a single camera shot. This is the only camera shot there ever was, and they streamed this thing.
Oh, wow.
And not only that,
It's like you're
having
having a meeting and everybody else is watching.
Yeah, pretty much. Not only that, but 5 people, 4 microphones. So me and the moderator ended up moving this microphone between us. Just constantly turning it back and forth between us to talk. So, yeah, these 2 ladies were from the IRS. This gentleman was from the Navy. And then it was me from the state perspective. So it was, it was an interesting discussion and a weird way to do, a talk like that, especially when at the end we started to take questions from the audience. And suddenly you're like, okay, there's a question from that man. All right. And so you're trying to look at him because it's weird not to do, not to look at somebody you're trying to talk to answer, but yet the microphone is completely the other way, and nobody thought to take the mic out of the holder, so you end up with questions where you almost can't hear the answer. But yeah, that was an interesting way to do it. But I got some
you're
good
famous
feedback.
now.
Well, I don't know that I'm famous, but the good news is I got. They had somebody there who was taking headshots, so now I won't look if they do ask me to do another conference. I won't look as out of place with my poor resolution headshot in comparison to all of the bigwigs who have professional headshots. I'll actually have something that looks good.
So let's ask the most important question that is a burning question that's on everybody's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to have pancakes with Sleepy Joe?
No, I did not, but I was.
Damn it!
But I don't know if I said this, but I was at the Watergate Hotel, which was interesting because everything in there was basically labeled like, no need to break in. They really capitalized on that, on their moment, on their negative publicity moment. And so it was kind of cool, although I don't know how anyone can afford to live in D.C.
Oh, no.
I ordered Uber Eats for dinner one night. The first night I was there, I ordered Uber Eats because I knew I didn't want to try and afford to eat in the restaurant at the Watergate because I knew that would be ridiculously expensive. So I went down to the lobby, and I got there a little bit before Pierre, my delivery driver, got there. And I thought, okay, I'll get a beer at the bar. I know it's going to be stupid expensive, but all right, a $12 beer while I wait, no big deal, is what my mindset was, right? So I roll up to the bar, and I'm like, okay, I'll take a Bud Light, Miller Lite, whatever you got. Of course, they don't have domestics. They only have these highfalutin IPAs and, all these other things that, I don't like. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take a rum and Coke. Just simple rum and Coke. Anybody want to guess how much a rum and Coke was at the Watergate?
$26.
Damn, you're good. That's the exact price. $26 for a Bacardi and Coke. I don't know how anybody can afford to be an alcoholic. I mean, I could have bought a bottle of Bacardi for $26.
Wow.
And then on my way home, I stopped in. I had a layover in Atlanta, so I ordered a beer with my lunch. That was $12.50, and that was for just a regular old Bud Light. But for Atlanta airport prices, that actually wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And the only reason I got a beer is because it was big. The glass was bigger for a beer than it was for a soda, and I figured the soda was going to cost me somewhere between $6 and $8 anyway, so I might as well get a beer.
You don't ever have to justify ordering a beer to me. I mean,
No.
Come on now.
But yeah, it was just, man, expensive living there. But it was fun. I did get to go to the Air and Space Museum. Although I thought, okay, it's only been 15 or 20 years since I've been there. How much can it possibly have changed? Last time I went there, I just walked in. I just walked in off the street. Well, now you have to reserve tickets ahead of time, even though they don't cost anything. And you have to book, like, you have to set up, okay, I'm going to come in this hour. They book hourly tickets, basically. And so I get there, and there's a line around the block to get in. Luckily, it was just because it was like 2:50, and they were waiting in line for their 3 o'clock tickets. Once 3 o'clock rolled around, everybody went in fairly quickly, and I was actually able to scan their little QR code and get a 3 o'clock ticket at like 3:15 and go in. But I thought I was royally screwed for getting in there.
So the top tip for that is, do not arrive at the bottom of the hour. Arrive about quarter after.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, get tickets early. Maybe read the website to see what the protocols are if you haven't been somewhere in 15 to 20 years. But as always, I love DC's Metro.
It is amazing.
God, it was the best Metro ever.
And that Metro is the reason why a lot of folks that like work in DC live in like Alexandria and Manassas and outside of DC. Mm-hmm. Nobody lives in DC proper unless you work in the government.
Yeah, because
that's a fact.
God, I walked. The houses are so small, so small. Good Lord, I've got closets bigger than some of these houses that I walk past. But it was ridiculous. And now, when Colin and I went, we were struggling to get trains and tickets and all that other kind of stuff, and it was all still paper based and everything. And I think they did have little credit card swipe type thingies, but now everything's on the phone. Now everything's it's NFC on your phone. So it was awesome. I preloaded my phone with $20, and then I could just scan at the little entry gates, exit gates. I still got $4 left on my card if I ever go back. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, can't say enough that experience was great, and I didn't run into any crazy people. There was one crazy person on the train, but they were in the car ahead of me. So and I only heard that because I heard them yelling. But it was great, a lot of fun. My dog did not behave while I was gone, though. Evidently, my wife was not very happy with Penny's behavior because Penny really wanted me home. So gave my wife nothing but problems. But no, good times. We have topics though for tonight. Other than me waxing on about DC. So let's see here. What do we have? Got a bunch of stuff we won't talk about. We have a ton of topics we won't talk about.
Should we talk about the world record that has been broken?
Yes, we should talk about the world record which has been broken. And Mike, you brought this up, so I'll let you jump into it.
So somebody decided. Okay, so first off, let's just say that this is a sign that we have far too many categories for the Guinness World Records book. Okay, you can set a world record in pretty much anything at this point. An environmentalist decided that he would smash the world record for hugging trees by hugging 1,123 trees in 1 hour. I am not sure that is a life goal that somebody should have. It ranks right below influencer as a potential career. I'm not sure why he did it to set. I mean, he's an environmentalist, so it's probably something related to mourning the loss of all the old growth trees I've seen. The Tuskegee, 29 years old, in the tour through the Tuskegee National Forest in Alabama, like averaged 19 tree hugs per minute. It's to inspire the youth in Ghana, especially those from less privileged communities like the one I grew up in, showing them that it's possible to rise above challenges and make a significant impact. What exactly I'm not exactly sure how this is changing anything, to be honest. The previous world record was 700 trees.
Trees I've seen! And tell them that we love them and that we don't want them to die!
He should have been repeating that while he did this.
I need that clip because I was trying to explain the clip to somebody at work the other day, and I couldn't find it. Do you know how hard it is to find screaming tree hug? Do you know what results come up when you post screaming tree huggers on Google? Do you have any idea what kind of rabbit hole you go down at that point?
You'll get told the same thing I got told the other day. You're breaking the algorithm.
So anyway, he's not wearing any kind of sponsor shirt or anything. If it wasn't for this post, I would have never heard anything about it. So it's one of those, I don't exactly understand if the actual action does promote change.
I don't know. Like some of these records, I don't understand how they can affect change. Because you see this with a lot of these things where I'm doing this to raise awareness for ... Really? How does that do this? How does what you're doing raise awareness for what you're doing? So
also 19 a minute just doesn't seem that great.
Yeah.
Well, and what defines a hug? Imagine you work for Guinness, not the beer company, because that would be awesome. You work for Guinness World Records, and somebody tells you, okay, we have a new record attempt coming out. You need to go to verify. Great. What is it? Is Joey Chestnut going to try and break the chicken wing record again? No. You need to go to Alabama. Well, what's in Alabama? Are we going to see, is Paula Deen going to try and break the record for how many people she can offend in an hour? No. You're going to watch this guy hug trees, make sure he doesn't hug the same tree twice, and count them. You're serious, aren't you? I could just imagine being in the office when you get that assignment.
Yeah. I mean, here are some of the weirdest records that have been broken to raise awareness. Most skips by a cat in 1 minute. Loudest burp.
Hold on.
Yep.
Does it say the cause that they're trying to raise awareness for?
That one was basically rescue animals.
Okay.
Loudest burp from a female in particular. Longest distance full body burn run without oxygen. Most spoons balanced on the body. That one was done to raise awareness for childhood hunger. Most magic tricks underwater in 3 minutes.
What about
done to
most
bring awareness for ocean pollution?
Oh, of course. What about most magic tricks done underwater in a minute while on fire?
That would be a record to break. Fastest time to assemble Mr. Potato Head blindfolded.
Because just assembling is not cool enough. That's a whole different one.
Fastest 5 meters on a scooter by a parrot.
This is like those dumb laws.
Audubon
books,
Society fundraiser there, by the way.
Well, okay. At least the bird was for the Audubon Society. All right. I don't know.
I do appreciate there's some records that they said they're not taking anymore. They're not taking any more. Most swords swallowed. It's like, no, we don't want any more sword swallowers. Thank you.
I think at one point they also outlawed some of the more risque adult ones. They said they weren't doing those anymore. But I do have a list. If we are curious, if we would like to pursue some records, if we would want to get PTR Radio in the record book, here are some of the most easily achieved records that can be broken. Ones that don't take any training.
Never like when he goes down a list like this because one of us is going to get volunteered, but go ahead.
Most socks put on in 30 seconds. Most dominoes stacked in 30 seconds. Most Smarties or M&Ms eaten in 1 minute using chopsticks while blindfolded. Okay. Okay. The fastest time to stack a 20-brick right-angle Lego tower. Yeah, that's just a.
What is that? What does that mean? Right angle. What does it mean? You got to alternate.
Here, I'll show you. That's it. I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Fastest time to match 20 emoji pairs. Most soft toys caught blindfolded in 30 seconds. Most cans stacked in a pyramid in 30 seconds. Fastest time to pack a school bag. Lip balm collection. There you go. Colin, start a lip balm collection. Collection. All you've got to do is get more than 3,388 of them. All right?
I assume they want different ones, not just go to Amazon.
I was going to say, just go to Amazon.
I'm assuming so.
Chapstick quantity 3,339.
Fastest time to put on 5 T-shirts. So I mean, none of those sound overly burdensome. Well, maybe the chopsticks, M&Ms blindfolded, but they sound doable.
I think we should just have
a lot of them sound doable to people smaller than us.
But yes, and more limber.
Yeah.
I think next show we should, instead of trying to set a world record, we should, and not blindfolded, but we should try to eat M&Ms with chopsticks just to show there is some skill involved with that.
I don't even know how to use chopsticks, so I would be in trouble from the start. I can't eat big food with chopsticks unless I just stab it with a single chopstick, all right? And basically make it a skewer. So,
but the only time I use chopsticks is when I'm eating sushi, right? And the funny part is, if you go to Japan, you're not supposed to eat. They get offended.
Don't they want you to use your fingers?
Yes. So, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I do it. Probably because everybody else at the table is, and I don't want to look like a savage by just saying, "Oh, fish."
Well, it's because so much U.S. sushi is covered with mayo and stuff anyway, so not exactly fingerable.
True. Well, it used to be, like the guy I work with, we go for sushi every once in a while, and there used to be a guy he worked with that was Japanese. So he would pick the restaurant, and when we get there, he would say something like unga dingama or some shit, and they'd bring out the real menu. Like it was written in Japanese, and he would do all the ordering.
Yeah.
So it's not that it can be done. But I'm not like Xiaoman, New York City, the white guy that speaks Mandarin and goes around and fools everybody.
Yes.
I wish I was.
Speaks a ton of languages, but yeah.
That guy's amazing.
Yeah, he is. He really is. He's basically the universal translator. He would be recruited for Star Trek.
He is Babel in human form, basically.
Yes. He's a Babel fish. That's all there is to it. So, so let's see here, Mike. Do we want to do high school things? Non-Americans revealing themselves or saying how they can spot an American. Talk about darts and billiards.
Well, or let's see, which one is
the vegan?
Which one is shorter here? Well, let's okay. So this American tourist from a mile away. I don't know about you guys, but I have not traveled around the world enough to even be able to comment on whether this. I mean, I guess we can go through this.
Other than things that are stereotypical, American. Yeah. Plus, I think we've done it before. So, yeah, probably nothing terribly exciting.
This one about things they don't teach you in high school that you learn immediately in college. The first thing that's the preview picture here. When you hear the voice, just take the 8 a.m. class. It won't be bad. You've done it for this long. I'm saying that was my second semester at Rutgers. The only class I didn't skip ever in my first semester was the 8 a.m. class. I took all 8 a.m. classes. Guess what? I flunked out. So this one may hit a little bit too close to home.
How about the one that says...
Not to mention it's Post Malone with no tattoos in the picture.
How about this one? Every high school teacher tells you that shit won't fly in college. College. All that shit flies in college.
Yeah, basically.
Don't want to show up? Don't care. Don't want to do homework? Don't care. They got your money already.
I had a computer, my computer science 101. I showed up, got the assignment, handed in my last week's assignment, and left. Did that the entire semester. And guess what? One of the few classes I got an A in at Rutgers.
Yeah. High school, assigned seating is so dumb. College, why is he sitting in my seat? That's my seat. I sit there every day. I will tell you. My wife picks up the grandkids from school, and she gets so upset when somebody is in her assigned parking spot. In the school pickup line.
She would not do well at working where I'm working right now. Not only do we don't have assigned days, we don't have assigned offices. And anybody who follows me on Facebook has seen the drama of the thermostat. Damn temperature gauge. It's 63.5 degrees in my friggin' office, whereas one office 20 feet away, it's 71.
Yep. We're always hot. Next one. Welcome to college, where every single person is smarter than you, except for the 3 people in your group project.
Correct. Never fails.
How do you describe college? I'm teaching myself a class that I am paying for.
That's the point of college. The point of college is to teach you how to read a book and teach yourself. I decided that I could already read a book and could already teach myself.
Here's one. To whomever needs to see this, Throw away your empty liquor bottles. They are not decorations. That was college.
Yeah.
That
My year at Western, there was a guy who, he was collecting ornamental.
That was
liquor
college
bottles,
and
yeah.
first apartment. That's what that was.
You know, that coming from the guy that has a beer bottle collection of over 100 bottles up in the attic, that kind of hurts.
Yeah, but you're not keeping
bit.
like every bottle of Jack Daniels or something that you empty out. You know, you're probably only keeping things which are exciting and interesting.
Not even. I was nerdy about it. Okay, I had a damn spreadsheet, and I only kept bottles that I didn't have. So that it's not like it's 100 individually unique bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Kim has already threatened or declared several times will get lost when we move. So there's that.
So when you move, you need a man cave where you can put your bottles at.
Yeah. Man cave, shop, something. I don't know. The bar area, he shed with a bar that I can just build a shelf and have them all around and lit.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of decorative. Yes. Oh, to dream.
The professor arrived for class 5 minutes ago, and he has said nothing. We're just sitting here as he eats a sandwich and looks at his papers.
And folks, the 15-minute rule is not really a thing.
No, it's not.
All right, you get burned that way real quick because 9 times out of 10, the first day the professor is sitting in the back waiting until minute 16, and then he hands out the syllabus, and you're screwed for the entire semester. Trust me. Chances are he's got a pocket watch and speaks with some kind of accent, and he does it because he's got tenure. They can't do a damn thing about it.
How do people find their soulmate in the first 2 months of college? It took me 4 months just to find the administration building.
Pharmaceutical manipulation. That's how.
Parents need to stop encouraging their kids to go to college because there is just not enough parking to go around.
Let me tell you something. After my experience last week, parents need to encourage their kids to be plumbers.
Yes, I have encouraged all the grandkids to go into the trades. I'm like, I need a vet. The only person I need going to school is one who's going to become a vet. You know, it would be nice to have a lawyer, but you know that's probably not going to happen. Otherwise, yeah, I need some carpenters, I need some plumbers, I need some electricians. You know, those are what I need. An auto mechanic would be nice. You know, yeah, go into the trades, make money. But yeah.
All right, that's one.
It would be a good trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
A good trade would be a bouncer.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out on the next show if bouncer is a good trade to go into, and that nicely walks us into our movie review for this week. Movie review for this week is Ricky Stanicky.
It is?
It is.
Oh, I watched next week's. See, I go to the sheets, and I go to the bottom, and I say, "Oh, here's the next one." I watched it. Okay.
No.
Well, I'm ready for next week.
All right. Well, we'll get you caught up on this week. So Mike,
tell me all about it.
Mike, you watched Ricky Stanicky, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right. So Colin. So by default, since you messed up, you got
sure.
to
Yeah,
take
not a problem.
next week. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
All right. That's your punishment.
All right. So Ricky Stanicky, I'm taking lead on this one, I think, because I believe I put it on the list. because I couldn't not see this on the Amazon recommendations anymore. It just was everywhere. And I'm not mad about it. I like John Cena. John Cena's a funny actor. He does good things, and he does some pretty good dramatic moments in funny movies. All right, but there are a few things in Ricky Stanicky that you need to be aware of. One, do not ask. Hello, Zoom.
Dramatic effect.
Don't. Oh, it's because I did this, I think, and but one, do not ask. Do not ask either a Google device or a Lexi device or any of those to there. That was way too close. Don't ask them to give you a synopsis of Ricky Stanicky, because it does a terrible job. According to Lexi, who I asked this morning, because I wanted to just kind of get a synopsis before I jumped into it, she said it was about a boy who lost his mother at the age of 3 and then father at the age of 6 and goes into military school. So completely wrong for the movie, because that's not what the movie is about. The movie is about 3 kids who get in trouble and decide to blame it on essentially the family circle, not me. But they name not me as Ricky Stanicky. So they create a person and then go through their entire life blaming the things they did or to get out of things on this Ricky Stanicky, who then, through a series of adventures, they have to make real to prove that they exist, that Ricky Stanicky exists. And in walks X-rated parody singer John Cena's character. And okay, couple things that are going to be slightly disturbing in this movie to folks. One, John Cena dressed like Britney Spears from the Hit Me Baby One More Time video. All right, that's an image I can't get rid of now, which is not good. That's not an image you want to have in your head. 2, John Cena singing multiple songs, doing a hardcore parody of them. He ain't no Weird Al, I'll tell you that right now. And I don't know who came up with these lines that he's singing, but they are funny, but they're very crude. This is not a family film. And then, yeah, I mean, it's basically the whole thing gets out of control. So if you love those movies where it starts off simple and then it just snowballs until it then explodes and then there's a reconciliation at the end, worn out trope as it were, you're going to like Ricky Stanicky. But you have to be willing to look at that. There's a lot of good cameos. There's a lot of good folks that are in this. I am going to give this a smile. All right. Like I said, I like John Cena. I like this movie. My wife would hate this movie, but I liked it. It's kind of right up my alley for stupid funny. So, Mike.
All right. So I put this off because when I originally showed Kim the trailer, she was like, "Oh, I'll watch that with you," and then all hell broke loose at the house, so we never got around to watching it. So I watched it yesterday. My first impression of this movie is that this is a spin on an old beer league hockey tradition. See, every league I've ever skated in had a team that was named the Phantoms on the schedule. There was never an actual team called the Phantoms in the league. If you played them that week, you went to the bar with your team. And by the way, you always had the early game slot just to make it worthwhile. It was kind of like your free pass, get out, go do what you need to do. And so I get to the point where it's the montage of Rock Hard Rod's performances, as Shaggy mentioned. I had to stop the playback and make Kim come into the room to watch them and say, this is what you are missing. I'm going to humiliate myself for a second and give you a slight taste of one of his performances, which was a parody of a Billy Idol song. It's a nice day to masturbate. It's a nice day to jizz again. Right? So, and he's dressed up the whole time, right? So you've got him. The Billy Idol one. He didn't actually sing the Britney Spears one. He's just seen in the outfit. What other ones does he do? Devo.
Yeah. Here we go.
Grab that stick. Love your hand with spit. Lay it out your back. My penis.
Oh, yes.
Alice Cooper.
On my tummy. It's a nice day to cheers again.
It's the one I forgot.
Ooh, baby, I masturbate every day. I want to tell you I masturbate every way.
So, all right. At some point, the full versions of these songs are going to be leaked. And when they do, they will be reserved for the right crowd for a trivia night.
I can't. Oh, I want to know what that crowd is. Because that's not like Mothers Against Drunk Driving crowd. I can tell you that.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, do you do trivia night for the porn convention that we don't know about? I mean, do you do the AVN trivia night?
Well, no. Moving on. So there's a scene where Duck versus Yorkie, all right? And in my head, I'm just hearing, on today's episode of Butterstown Thunderdome, Jeff Ross as a rabbi. Like, oh, come on, really? So I'm gonna ask this question, Shaggy. Is it at all stereotypical and or borderline racist that the black friend is the one with the drug problem?
Black gay friend. Let's be specific.
Okay, so it balanced out, of course. Yeah. And then there's a line between Zac Efron, or an exchange between Zac Efron and Ricky Stanicky. You don't even know what we do here. Business stuff. That's like every single time someone asks my grandfather what I did at my company, and he says, oh, he works with computers.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, my big takeaway from this movie is that cursing at work in a corporate environment needs to be normalized. Enough with all of this PC, safe space, don't offend bullshit. You should be able to look right at one of your coworkers and tell them, fuck off. There'll be no consequences.
Are you going to go to your boss and say, don't speak like this or this?
Dude, you're an air wanker.
Yeah. Air wanker needs to be a thing. I had never heard that term before. It needs to be a thing.
I also would like to know in what world a Ford Escape sounds like a V8 muscle car. Somebody did some piss poor sound editing there. all that being said, I also gave this a smile. I am becoming a big fan of John Cena in a comedic-like role like this. I think he was an unnecessary extra in the Fast and the Furious saga. Him trying to be serious action hero type, no. This kind of role suits him. This character was pretty much Peacemaker without the superhero aspect. And I'm all about it. So if you like John Cena in this movie, you will, and you haven't seen Peacemaker, go watch Peacemaker.
Yes. Yes. By the way, you say John Cena in a action role. I just added another movie to our list of possible movies because I could not believe that there was a John Cena, Jackie Chan action movie that wasn't on our list.
Shut up. What's the title? Where?
Hidden Strike from 2023.
Okay, well, I guess I know what we're automatically picking next after Roadhouse.
And
Colin,
then
I'm going to leave. Well, you already watched Roadhouse. I was going to say, you want me to leave a space?
you're muted, Colin.
I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was coffee. Yeah. Yeah, that should be good.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because I went through and I went, oh, you know what? John Cena is really good in movies. What else? Because I think we watched Freelance, which was his other one that he was in. We liked that. Or at least I watched it. I liked it. It was good. That's another funny action movie. I haven't watched the Vacation Friends series yet, but he's done 2 of those. So, you know, yeah.
I mean, look, I like him. He can go, like you said, he can go from that stupid to be able to even get through those songs.
Oh, my God. I don't know how he did
I
it.
mean, he was good. And I'm actually starting to respect Zac Efron as an actor a little
I
bit.
didn't recognize Zac Efron originally. But my idea of Zac Efron's look is Baywatch and Bad Grandpa.
Oh, okay. Well, he's bulked up.
Super buff
Iron
Zac.
Claw.
Well, I mean, he wasn't exactly small in Baywatch, but he wasn't.
No.
His face is puffier in this film. I don't know why. I mean, he looks more normal. He doesn't look ripped. Let's put it that way. I mean, you know, so it's interesting. So, yeah, no, decent show. So, all right.
Did I miss it? What did you guys actually rate the?
So we
We
rated.
both did Smile.
Yeah, we both did Smile on this.
Okay, smile. Okay, I just missed that.
It'll be interesting to see what you think. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't have high hopes for what I've already heard. So,
All right, so Colin, let me put you at ease a little bit. Once you get past that scene where he's actually performing the act, and it's like maybe a 2-minute montage. If
oh
that.
no, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
The rest of it is actually pretty good.
yeah,
Like they could have done without that part. That could have been an extra. There actually was another song later on. Another impression where he was
he was
Boy George.
Boy George, yeah. And William H. Macy was really good in this too.
Yes. he
So
was.
you know, yeah, it was good. It was good show. So, all right. So you guys heard what we're reviewing next. We're going to review Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. So Colin's already watched it. Yes. So I am curious to see how that goes. I'm going to have my wife watch it with me just because she liked the first Roadhouse. So we'll see how this one rates. She already said, "Who's Jake Gyllenhaal?" And I said, "Nothing. He was not in any Hallmark movies, so I don't know that you will know who he is."
He was Spider-Man, right?
she would not know who any Spider-Man characters.
Yeah, I was just like, I wasn't even sure he was a Spider-Man, and probably wouldn't care anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He's in Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, no,
It's probably about as close to what she would have watched, a movie she would have watched.
I don't know that she's watched Day After Tomorrow with me, because that was probably one of my favorites with a minute.
And he was in possibly his crowning achievement role of Bubble Boy.
He was in City Slickers? Where the hell was he at in City Slickers? Was he one of the kids or something, or what?
Probably.
Evidently, he was in City Slickers, but all right.
Jarhead.
Yeah. So, all right. That is what we have for this evening for you guys. We will be back in. Are we doing 2 weeks, or are we doing 1 week, or what are we doing? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So it'll either be the 13th or the 20th. Keep your eyes peeled to our social media channels for more information about that. But we will be back. Don't forget, you can always check us out, ptrradio.com on the website, as well as PTR Radio on your favorite social media channels. You know, we're always interested in what you guys have to say, so please reach out to the show. You know, friend us, like us, poke us, message us, whatever you want to do, and we will. You used to poke people. I don't think people poke people anymore, do they? I don't think that's a thing anymore.
No, that actually came back.
Oh, it came back? Good.
It's back on Facebook, so you can poke people on Facebook again.
Yeah. So, you know, if you want to give us.
Hey, if we. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I was going to say, if we restart 2 weeks from today, we'll skip over Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. So, so then we'll probably be 2 weeks out then, because we all have Memorial Day things to do, because we memorialize things. So, all right, folks. But that is pretty much all that we have for tonight. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.